What's up, traders? Thank you for being here. It is a great Friday. I'm here with my good friend Randy Baines, and we're just going to be going over some basic trading psychology stuff. He made a couple good points in our Discord, just messaging me about, his growth and my growth. And, there's just a lot of things that we could talk about with this. So we just have a couple questions that we're going to go over, a couple topics, and please feel free to put anything that's a hot topic on your mind in the chat, and we will definitely cover this. So, Randy, what's up? How are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks.
Good.
Thanks for
So
putting this
why don't you
together.
just give them a quick introduction? How long have you been trading? And yeah, like what are you trading?
So basically, yeah, I've been. My name's Randy Baines. I've been trading for, just over a year now. I started trading actively February of last year. I'd never looked at a chart prior to that. I have some investing experience, but even then, I just had some money. I invested in some stocks and I held them and sold them, or yeah, took a big loss on them. But yeah, that and yeah, so I've just been trading ES predominantly. I originally looked at trading oil when I first started oil futures, but as I progressed on this journey, I realized that I needed to specialize in one market just for the learning portion, and I've chosen ES, and I've been there ever since. And I trade MES futures, and yeah, that's about it. And I'm in the second year of trading, and it's a struggle for sure. I can say that, to say the least.
Well, yeah, it is a struggle. So let's kick it off because me and Randy have been trading together for the last year and some change. Similar to Randy, I also just trade MES. We both trade prop, and I also trade with some live capital as well. So we're going to talk about the differences and whatnot. But really, the question that got me wanting to do this live in the first place, because I think a lot of people can relate to this, is and I had never heard this before, but when you said it, Randy, it really made a lot of sense to me. What he said was trading at 2 years is harder than trading in my first year. So like maybe just elaborate a little bit on that and what you mean.
So I think there's, it's a misconception, or at least for me, it was that I put so much weight on getting through the first year of trading that I thought magically I'm in year 2 now, the payouts will come, I'll start making money. It's almost that feeling you get when you first start learning how to trade and you get your first string of winning trades. And you
Mm.
don't know why you're winning these trades, but you're like, damn, I still remember one of my very first winning trades was in oil. It was on a practice account and it was a trade for like $4,000. And in my head, I'm like, I just made $4,000. How easy was that? Price went up, price went down. I just bought, I sold, like and so coming into the second year, I'm like, I can read a chart. I understand what I'm looking at. I trade VWAP. I can read the markets and pick my trades. So why am I not making money? And I think for me, those goes back to the tilt days. And the second year for me now is going to be focused more on psychology, getting my head in the game, controlling the emotions. Because now it's, anybody can read a chart, but it's just how many times you click that buy or sell button, or how you manage your trades, or what gonna define me this year for sure.
Did you notice like a specific turning point for you where at some point you're now okay, I can read the charts with confidence, and then now it's more about how am I actually managing the trades, and maybe even more how am I managing myself during the trading session?
So this week for me in particular, and this, like, the timing of this is perfect, is Monday I had a tilt day. I went out and purchased 2 straight to funded Tradeify accounts. One about a month ago, before I went on vacation, then another one after. And I basically blew one on Monday and basically put the other one in so much drawdown that it's blown. And after that day, it was when I realized that, I can read the charts, but it's how I manage it that's what's
Mhm.
killing me. And Tuesday, I was able to have a small red day, but I ended up giving back the profits that I made on the day. And I had a small red day, so I was still proud of myself for keeping the losses small. And Wednesday morning, I didn't, we had a little bit of a night with our 1-year-old. He was up, and I didn't get the greatest sleep, but I did sleep. But I was making excuses in bed to not get out of bed and to trade. And that's when I realized that I was making these excuses because I had a fear of losing. And it wasn't about
Mm.
losing, you know, so I lost the straight to funded account, but it's like I lost 21 trades to lose that account. So it's like the fear of losing one trade. If I just boil it down to something, it's like, forget the P&L, forget $5, $5,000 loss on that trade. I just got to be okay with, I took this trade. There's a thesis behind it. I know what I'm looking at. I'm not just willy-nilly, buying the dip or shorting the top. And so it was like, I kind of said, no, I'm not going to be afraid to lose. And I got up out of bed and did my morning routine. I got to the desk 45 minutes later than I normally am and found a trade and took it and managed it kind of like, the best trading I've ever done. I managed it beautifully, read the trade beautifully, and just getting that boost of confidence and realizing that it's okay. If I lost that trade, there's nothing wrong with it. It was 100% valid entry. And I think before I was just taking entries and then pulling the trade early because I was just afraid of losing. And then I had to win that back because I wanted to be right. And this determination of not, it's okay. It's like Tom Hugard says, right? The best loser wins. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I don't like to use the language loser. It's true, right? If you can handle your losses well and manage them well, you're going to get ahead. You keep your losing days smaller than your winning days, you're making money. Any which way, any R&R you look at it, you know what I mean? Like any win percentage, you keep your losses smaller than your green days, you're making money. And that's what it boils down to.
Something you said there that I want to go into, and this is a little selfish, for all the viewers, we are both newer traders. I'm a little over 2 years into my journey, but I would really say I'm only a year and a half in, because my first year was a lot of basic research on what is trading, being scared to even invest in a mentor, investing in a course. So a lot of stuff I was doing was just on YouTube. But this week for me too, I've noticed when I'm waking up, I'm not necessarily excited to trade. And if anything, I'm a little nervous to, kind of get back on the floor and get back out there. And that came especially after having a big loss on Monday. Similar, I came in swinging on Monday. I had 10 green days in a row and this is just good trading. This was normal trading for me. I was just taking my regular setups. I was trading really, really well. And, that 10 green days, though, didn't make me to the payout threshold that I needed. And I end up coming in on Monday with this overconfidence that, hell, I've been trading really good. I'm going to come in this week and swing. I don't want to waste time on a $150K account taking $400 wins. I want to be taking $1,000 wins and get to this payout really fast. So then I come in Monday. I honestly, I had a great read of the market. If anyone remembers, Monday was super bullish at the open, but I saw the shorts. I take the short entry, but then start second guessing myself because it's kind of fading the momentum that I should be on. And so then I'm fading the momentum. I stop myself out, take a loss, and then just flip the bias. And Monday was just a big red day for me. And then the rest of the week, I've been waking up not excited to trade. And that's that's a very difficult place to be in. And I think a lot of people can relate to that it's not all, positive, sunshine and whatnot. And, we have these difficult emotions we have to battle. And especially in the morning is the hardest for me to really dig myself out of that hole with no momentum in the morning.
Well, it's you got to remember, and you got to give yourself some grace. We are up at we both trade on the West Coast, so we're up at 5 a.m. You're up at 4:45. I used to get up at 4:30. I'm actually the last 3 days I've been getting up at 5, quarter after 5. I've not been. I've also removed myself from being at the desk for 6:15, before market open. I'm getting to the desk now at 6:30. I'm not taking a trade for at least the first 15 minutes. I want to push that to the first half an hour because my last 2 successful days, I didn't take a trade till after 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Eastern time. Okay, so after the IB is set.
Yeah.
Or no,
IB set at 10:30.
Yeah,
IB is set at 10:30. But basically and I missed, I think both days, Wednesday and Thursday, in the 15-minute opening range, we both had a just price shoot up both days.
Mm-hmm.
And 100%, I can tell you, 100%, I would have taken a momentum chasing those take a trade and chase that momentum 100%. And I would have probably managed it poorly, and I would have either taken a loss or just taken a little bit of profit for a whole lot of mental stress. So, we got to give ourselves some grace that we're up earlier than the rest of everyone else. And if we had, people on the East Coast get 3 hours, say they get up at 6 a.m., they got 3.5 hours before market open. Can you imagine what you and I could do in 3.5 hours? We're done our morning routine. We're done trading. We're done journaling. We're making a video before lunchtime. And you know what I mean? The majority of the people that are in this industry and making the money are have a head start on us. So I know
that's a good point. It's like when I work out, like I'll use working out as an example, I get so much positive momentum in my day, like mentally and physically, so I've been doing yoga in the mornings right now. My morning routine is waking up at 4:55, and then like I'm out in the living room at like 5:10ish. 5:20, I'm trying to get like a tea going and get some yoga, because I find the yoga helps like get like the lymphatic system moving. Everything starts to work. But like I'd be lying if I said I didn't come to the desk with like, you still feel like a little tired in your eyes.
Yeah.
And like a little heavy inside. And it's like removing that feeling would help, basically going back to the original point of this, would help keep that positive momentum, because when you wake up first thing in the morning, you're just at your job doing work and you don't have any steam for the day yet. It could be difficult, especially when we're trying to make, these big decisions like an hour and a half after waking up.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And it's again, for us being up so early and then being in front of the desk, if we choose to be, for the trading session. The trading session's over at 1 p.m. for us, but that is a big chunk of our morning. Our brains still aren't even we're still probably in some sort of, state of like a lower. So it's like we wake up and have to be stimulated, have to be on top of on our toes. So even this week, I've been, the last morning routine's huge for me. I know we talk about this all the time. It's so important for me, but I'm still tweaking it. And so this week I was doing 30 minutes of breath work in the morning. I cut that back to 10 minutes, just focusing on, I have the breath work track we got from the CTA conference. I focus on that right when I get up, and then I have a cold shower, and basically I'm in the gym now for 30 minutes. And when I'm in the gym, all I'm doing is I have a 15-pound kettlebell. For 30 minutes straight, I swing it one arm, the other arm, two arms over my head, get my heart rate going, force myself to do something, that I don't want to do. And it's definitely, I'm coming to the desk with a little bit of a different energy for sure versus, and when I'm swinging that kettlebell, I got music playing on my headphones, but all I'm thinking about is the trading day. And I'm getting
What are you thinking about? Like, what
I'm thinking about the VWAP. What do I want to do? What size I want to take? Where would I exit a trade? Where would I enter a trade? What am I going to do if it turns on me? Am I going to take $500 risk today? Am I going to take $1,000 risk today? If I'm $1,000, am I going to take 2 trades, or am I just going to take one? Like, I'm just running the whole entire trading session through my head. Okay, if I'm up $500, am I just taking profit and I'm done trading for the day? Am I trying to get more? Oh, well, my profit target with this account is I got a 35% consistency target. I'm doing the math. Okay, 1,000, like just constantly trying to think of 20 different ways to trade the day, and not even strategy wise, just how I'm going to manage my emotions. When we get to this point, P&L wise, when I do this, when I do that, if I take a loss, am I going to be okay? Am I going to walk away? Last week I put 2 poker chips on my desk and said I'm only taking 2 losing trades. And I tilted last week and this week, and I did not pick up a poker chip. They're sitting right in front of me. Do you know what I mean?
What does that mean? When you didn't pick it up, that just means you're not like staying true to the poker chip rule. Yeah.
I'm disrespecting myself. Let alone Hillary and Miles, you guys being part of the Black Shirt Club, right? Like, I'm disrespecting first and foremost myself, but everybody around me that's supporting me on wanting to get ahead in this journey and be successful. So it's once you face those hard things, and I think this week has been a hard week for me. And I had a call with Austin on Monday, and he said, it's not your trading. Like, what's going on off the desk? What's going on with you? And I was like, I got this. We kind of briefly said, I got some other personal matters going on in my life that we talked about and that I need to kind of iron out that, will hopefully get sorted out here soon. But it's just, it's letting go of that fear of, hey, if I lose this trade, is that going to define me as a loser? And then, hey, in life, when I go and look at my child and Hillary, am I failing in front of them? Do you know what I mean? But when I go on those days when I tilt, that's when I'm failing. And I'm showing everybody that it's like, I can't control my emotion. I got to be right. And yeah, so it's definitely, the morning routine's always getting tweaked, but like, see how you're doing the yoga, it's something different. It's when you did your challenge there, 75 hard or whatever it was, right? And you tweaked, and then by the end you were like, is this, you saw the benefits and the pros and cons. Do I go all the way? Do I not? Do I keep going? And I have a friend that did it, and she's what is that now? 6 months ago, she finished it, and she's still feeling the repercussions of it. Like, she's still having back issues. She's still sore. She's lethargic. She just wreaked havoc on her body and didn't realize it. Right. And we're doing that mentally every day coming to the desk. Like, we're just trying to, be the market makers and be smarter than an algorithm or a computer. We're like, what we're trying to do is very hard. And we're the bottom fish in the barrel. Like, we're not, unless you're a super genius, which there probably are out there, and Rain Men, and they can read the chart, right? Do you know what I mean? But we're not. Like, I'm not, at least. I'm the complete opposite. I'm a happy-go, laid back. Like, I'm not even a technical guy until I started trading.
Man, it makes me think about what I was just talking to Austin about today. He said, I expect myself to do something dumb. And that was kind of a light bulb moment for me, because when I heard that, I thought, I don't expect myself to do something dumb. I expect myself to do everything right. But at the end of the day, we're humans. We're like monkeys. And in this business, where I read, I forget what book it was, but they were talking about like energies of specific things, and like how, if you're in a relationship, that's a strong energy in your life, and you're going to be very emotionally tied to that. And they use that same correlation with money. Money's a strong energy. And, we're like, not that it's like a, like an out there thing, but like everyone who's trading, everyone that's on this live right now has experienced that feeling of, like shit, like inside, like you're either you blew up, either you did something wrong, lost too much money, and you just don't know what happened. And basically the takeaway for this, for me, from the call with Austin, is like, don't expect yourself to be perfect, and like bake it into your plan that you're going to fuck up. And like, basically going all the way back to this like positive momentum thing, because everything's tied together. So we've both met David Capablanca, who's a 7-figure penny stock, like small cap trader. And one of the things he told me was that really stood out is, keep the positive moment, do everything in your power to stick to your rules, just so that you can keep the positive momentum. Because especially with us, like making content now and stuff, when I have a shitty day, like when I have a big red day, I don't want to make content. I don't want to do anything that day. And it's our job as traders to keep ourselves in the position to come to the desk ready to go every day. And if we're, breaking our rules, not holding like accountable to ourselves or the expectations that we have for ourselves, we're naturally going to lose that momentum, which then just spirals. And, like I could get into this of like, I feel like I spent all last month, like in this like spot, in this like, lull of, oh, I fucked it up in January, so now I'm just gonna, try and get it back February, instead of just like cutting it off, making it a new clean slate, and just saying like, you're just going to start fresh this month, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, so you obviously know I was away 2 weeks ago. I was away basically the second half of February and the first week of March in Thailand. I tried trading there. I didn't work out for me. So anyways, we don't even need to get into that. But one thing I noticed is, I'm enjoying my vacation, and I've always my whole life struggled with my weight and just with my poor food choices and whatnot. And prior to going to Thailand, like, you know, you say you have a bad day or have a tilt day or I blow an account or something, I would just go find a bag of chips or, you know, just eat my
That
emotions.
vice, whatever
Yeah.
that vice is.
Eat
Yeah.
my emotions away. And for me, before it used to be drinking, then it was smoking. I don't, you know, I still drink, but not nearly as much as I used to. And I don't smoke anymore. So those vices are gone. So it's like, let's have a bag of chips. And I just feeding on the positive momentum, like you're saying. So when I'm in Thailand and I wasn't trading, I wasn't eating, we didn't have any junk food. Like it was
Hmm.
like I had a couple beers with lunch and a couple beers with dinner. It was beautiful. Sat on the beach, had some fresh food. It was really good. I came home. I'm in a funk. I'm not trading well. I'm trying to, you know, I was able to keep my weight down in all of Thailand because I didn't snack or eat junk food. And I came home and I'm having bad days and I'm eating junk food again. And I'm just kind of slowly spiraling. And I noticed this week, once I was able to really start to pay attention to these things and, you know, get in the gym again and then, you know, try and have some more gain my confidence back, that now, even when I have a bad trade, I don't want to go for a bag of chips. Where it's like, if I go do that, I'm just setting myself back one step. Actually, no, I'm going to make a video about this. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to shed it. It is
Hmm.
what it is. It happened. I'm going to, you know, be done with it. I'm going to put it out there and people will comment. And that's the one cool thing about making this content is I've had people reach out to me on Instagram. I've had people comment on YouTube, and you know, I've been there. I know you're feeling. I understand. Here's some stuff that helped me. Here's tips, and you know, it's keeping this positive idea of like, okay, I'm in year 2. I'm going to be successful. I think I was talking to Ak, was another guy that was in our group, and I went and met him in Thailand, and we had a beer together and talked trading, which was super cool. But he told me that I right now in my second year remind him of him in his fourth year,
Wow. Well, there you go. I mean,
right?
it's like, how can you not take like positive momentum from that?
Right. And he's like, here's a video, watch this. This really helped me with my mental side of trading. And I watched and I was like, damn, he's right. Like but it took him 4 years to find out. And luckily, by being a part of a community and doing these kind of things and sharing with you right now, you get people give you nuggets before you have to find out the nugget the hard way. Right. So
Yeah.
keeping this positive momentum is key. But it's hard because it's so easy to. And then one other thing I wanted to say about that is when you ask yourself on Monday when I went on tilt, I kept saying, "What did I? Why did you know what caused me to do this?" And it wasn't what, it was why.
Hmm.
Right? Because
What do you,
what
what do you
is
mean by that?
like it's like I know I'm clicking the button, like I'm pushing the button, but why? What's going on inside me mentally that's causing me. It was more not the what, if that makes sense. Like the way I described it in my head, like I talked myself through it
Hmm.
that day, and it sounded a lot more like easy to understand. But it was like it's more or less, what is my why? Why am I doing these things? Well, my why is this vacation we went to on Thailand and being able to do stuff like that more, spend more time with
Yeah.
my family. We have who gets to say that they get to be home with their 1 year old all day when all my friends, when their kids were growing up, were working. And a lot of
Yeah.
my friends missed out, like a lot of my friends missed out time with their kids because they were working and their wives stayed home and was on that sense. But I had my best friend missed his, twin daughters growing up. And here I am. I got to be grateful of that, right? And that's my why.
And that's like the opportunity of trading. It's like, yeah, and I'm 23. I graduated college, but like I don't use my college degree for anything I do now. And like who I get to now trade full time. I'm moving, I'm getting set up in a new office soon. Like, there's not many opportunities like this, but we have to go through stuff like this mentally where, I can speak from personal experience. There are a lot of days where I'm just burned, drained mentally at the end. And like I'm sharing this because I just want to be genuine. Like I feel like there's so many people that quit in their first year, first 6 months, first 2 years because they don't know how to handle this. They see on social media that like people don't share this or like I don't know. And I just think it's important to be genuine and honest and like open about this because it's not an easy thing by any means, but I just have the belief in myself, and like I've seen so many other people do it now that I've like met in person, shook hands with, had dinner with, that tell me that it's you just have to keep pushing through this difficult time. And then it's like when you hear stuff like people tell me like, wow, I can't believe you've already progressed this much, like Brent was telling us in the hotel that night, or like what you're saying about what Axe said, and like that's the kind of stuff that really helps keep me going, and know that I'm on the right path regardless of what the P&L looks like day to day.
That's where I think, that's probably the dark side of trading prop and trading evals, is because that P&L can be so huge when at the end of the day it's sim, or it's not even sim, it's a practice account or an eval or whatever it is, right? Like it's and we talked about this earlier. I had a trade on Wednesday where in my funded account I made $250. On an eval during FOMC I made $6,000. Both of those trades were very similar in trading style, entry management. Just one was sized up to hell because it was an eval, and the other one I treated it with respect because it was my funded account.
And
Right?
so it's like, because now I just drew this conclusion. People buy the account, and once they buy the account, it's like they lose the respect for the money that they've spent. Like, is exactly what you said. You spent the money, you have respect for money, but when it's not a funded account, it's treated more like gambling than.
No, 100%. And for me, you nailed it. And again, I don't even like to even use that language of gambling because we're not gamblers, we're traders. But the straight to funded account cost me Canadian, I think it was like $450 for a 50K.
Mm-hmm.
The eval was on sale and cost me $45.
Yeah.
Now, if I can pass this eval, pay the activation fee, and I'm half the price and I'm getting double the drawdown, this is where I got to think I'm going to take the risk. Not gambling. The risk is worth the reward. I'm not where before I would look at it like I'm going to gamble. I'm going to buy 10 evals because they're on sale. I'm going to copy trade them. And I'm going to, go for the gusto and FOMC here, and I'm going to pass them. Now, I ask myself, if I had 10 trades, 10 accounts copy trading, and I'm in that same trade and I was up $3,000, that would be $30,000 across the 10 accounts. Would I have closed the trade, or would I have managed it to take it all the way to full TP? Right? And then I would have closed it, and I would have copy traded the next day, and I would have given it all back. Do you know what I mean? But just having the one account and being like, this is my goal, this is what I need to do. I managed the trade. I had 30 contracts on. It wasn't small size by any means, but 30 contracts. I knew what I needed to get out of it to hit my 6K profit target. Price was moving. I was trailing my stop aggressively. Like, what more can I do? It could have been one micro in my personal account, or in my funded account, in the same trade would have played out, and I would have managed it the same way. So it's that was the aha moment for me, was separating that P&L, especially when we're gamifying this prop firm stuff. It's a total mind fuck, right? And it's something people overlook it. And I think Rebecca was saying she had somebody that she gets to see whenever they reset their account, like through the affiliate marketing.
74 resets
78
in one day.
78 on FOMC.
78 account resets in one day. And it was worse than that. It was 24 account resets in 30 minutes.
Yeah, like that's the gamifying of it, and that's the gambling, and that's not, neither you or I are here to gamble. We are gamifying it, and we know that, but neither of I are here to be like, oh, we're playing a video, we're going to play a game here, and let's see how much we can take. No, we want to learn to be traders so that when the time comes, we can trade our personal capital when this prop firm business is not around, or we've made our money from it, and we can trade our personal capital and go from there, right? So it's like, it's and then social media did, like, I never looked at reels before on social media. Now I'm making my own reels, and I look at them, and there's some great information out there. Great people have great advice. Some top-notch traders will give you some great advice when it comes to social media, but at the same time, it could be, you see the Lambo boys and this being posted and that, and you're thinking that I'm going to get this right away. And it's, as much as people don't like Patrick Whelan, I love that he comes out and says, I made $500,000 on affiliate sales. Like, he's making all of his money off of affiliate sales, and he's making money trading. but
Mhm.
he don't even need to. He's making 500K a month off of just affiliate sales, right? So it's like he's at least telling you, hey, I got these fancy cars and I got all this crazy shit in my life, but it came from both trading and affiliate sales. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Absolutely. I mean, just like there's 2 points I want to make. One, we could transition to this conversation of like how trading prop is different than trading a personal account. And like Patrick Whelan, he calls himself the best YouTuber, the most popular YouTuber. He doesn't like you
it's in the
just have to
title.
listen to the
Yeah,
verbiage. Like it's
yeah,
not I'm the best day trader.
yeah,
Maybe he does say I'm the best day trader on YouTube, but he also calls himself the best YouTuber. So
yeah.
it's like how and I'm sure that's because he knows he's making more money with this affiliate sales and stuff. So like what this conversation makes me think about is for everyone, it's this is answer is going to be different, but there is a dollar amount that makes it air quotes real for somebody. And it's like you have to know what that dollar amount is that's going to make this real for you, that you're going to take it seriously. Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about with like swinging huge size on an account, like or on an eval, sure, it's $45. Sure, you could swing, but there's an equal like opportunity universe where that account went against, or that trade went against you, and then now you're just blow the account in one go. And I asked myself, because I've also done that too, if I had spent $200 instead of $40, would I have traded this the same? And I think for everybody listening, like, know if since we're playing the prop game, know that number for yourself and then use that to your advantage. Like, don't give yourself the opportunity to go under that number. And just kind of, especially if you already have a proven strategy, like we all know the straight to funded model is a fantastic model. And there's going to be some firms coming out very soon that are going to be extremely competitive, if anything better than the ones that are currently on the market. So I'm really preparing myself mentally, like, okay, this is how much money I'm willing to spend this month or this next month. And this is what my goal is to take out from this, but this is what I'm willing to spend to make this real for me, to treat this the same as if I was trading a live personal broker, which I do. So I have experience with that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I'll even say, to touch on that, normally when I traded in the past, like my Apex evals, and you could pass in one day and these things, and I would try and go nuts, I would basically not even have a stop in place. So I had a stop in place on FOMC, and it was a hard stop, and it would have been $1,500. So it would have took half of my drawdown away. I would have got 2 trades out of that eval. Where before, I never would have done that. I would have left no stop in, thinking it's going to come back. The count's going to be blown. What's the big deal, right? But at least I even treated this and managed it with, whether it's $6,000 or 250. And that's what I'm trying to say is, like, I still managed the trade where I'm like, if I hit this point, I'm taking the stop. I'm not going to let this, thinking this, oh, it'll come here and it'll bounce from here. Like before with Apex, I'd be like, I wouldn't even have a stop in. I would let it come all the way down, and I've even had it come all the way back up on me and then come all the way down and not even know what the trailing drawdown was and get stopped out. So it's like, this whole gamifying of it and how you're saying, and like getting an account and respecting it, is I can see, there's a what do you call it? Flips to every side, the different other side of the coin to every conversation too, right? So.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because I'm the perfect example for this week. I had 10 green days in a row from March 1st to the beginning of this week. And I made like 5.5K in the straight to funded account. But that my goal with that account was to get the payout after 10 days. That was the goal. So I over that weekend, I defined my trading as bad trading because I didn't pass the payout threshold. Not like I didn't even consider in that, like, put any weight in that conversation with myself that I just had 10 green days. There's 2 things that went on here. I had 10 green days, which was the longest streak I've ever had. And then I also had the highest balance in an XFA funded account, whatever you want to call it, I'd had. Because when I had top step accounts, I took payouts, but never made the account 5K. So I like reached new levels in my trading these last 2 weeks, but defined it by I didn't get the payout, which was the only goal with this Tradeify account. So then I come in Monday with my priorities all lopsided and trade like shit. And it's like, how can we level ourselves so that we can know, like, like I feel like I have to redefine for myself every day and remind myself, like, what is good trading. And also, like, okay, you are playing this game, so is there a tweak that I need to make in my position sizing or whatnot?
So with your XFAs, were you looking at, like, with Tradeify, you pay attention to the 10-day pay period, all this stuff. You want to try and get it done in 10 days with the XFAs. Were you doing that? Or were you just trading, and when you got to a certain level, you took a payout, right?
Dude, that's a great point. I didn't care at all about the 10 days or anything, or 5 days of 200. Like, I didn't really care about that.
So the reason I'm saying that is, yesterday I took my first trade in the 100K funded account, and I basically set a TP at $1,000 because that's the max I can make on the account to keep the consistency target is 35%. So I came in today. I have 4 more days of trading, because I need 5 days of trading of 250 or more. And I'm like, okay, if I make $500 over the next 4 days, that'll be my 5 days of trading covered. It'll cover my 250. It'll put me at $3,000. I can take a payout on this account. Today I got into that trade. I sized into it heavy because I'm like, oh, I want to make my $500. I'm going to do, and as it turned around, I managed to kind of bring myself back, get out of that state of panic, watch the P&L, be like, you know what, as price turned around, I took some size off it for a small loss. The trade came back around and I ended up making $144. So I didn't cover the 250 I needed. I didn't get the 500 I wanted, so I could have the 5 days till payout. And I'm ending the day green, going into my weekend feeling good about myself. So it's like, I have to remind myself, all those things that I thought I wanted when I got to the desk, I didn't get any of them. But I am ending the day green. So
what's the defining thing that you take is like, this is a good day because of X, despite me not making my expectations?
If it takes me 20 days to get a payout, 30 days I haven't got a payout. So I just want to get a payout. And I bet you when you were trading that XFA, you just wanted to get a payout. You didn't care if it came in 10 days, a week, a month, 2 months. You just slowly, like personal capital, built that account up how you would normally. If it was personal capital, will you be following a consistency rule?
Of course not.
You would take what you can get from the market, right? So I think for me personally, as not taken a payout yet and just being such a new trader, that I gotta forget about the gamifying portion of right. And that's
yes, absolutely. Right? That's a great takeaway.
And again, like it boils down to that trade. Those 2 trades on Wednesday was like the aha moment for me, was like $250 on one trade and $6,000 on another trade. People would be like, you're crazy. You didn't make $6,000 on your first trade. Right. And it's like,
why not? Are you not good at trading, or
you know what whatever? I mean? And actually, if I remove the P&L and I just put a chart, if I just put up my markup for both trades and show you my risk reward and how I managed the trades and didn't show you what size I put on, you would have been like, they're the exact same trade. They're identical. So it's like, I'm going to forget about this. There's a consistency rule. Cool. When I have my A+ setup and it wants to run, I got to make sure I close it out at $1,000, right? That's kind of my where I'm putting it now. And then anything in between 0 and 1,000, I'm green, I'm winning. I could have easily tried catching a move right now, like before we did the stream, and force something. And who knows, maybe I'm still ending the week down $1,000 technically with that blown accounts, like the way my calendar is set up. But if I go back and look, Monday was a $2,300 loss, which was a big red. Tuesday was a $60 loss, which was a small red. Wednesday was a $250 win, which was a small green. Yesterday was $1,000 win, which was a big green. So it's like that hierarchy of that ladder. And today is a $144 win. What I'm going to take away from that is my losing day of $67 is still smaller than my smallest green day.
Your losing day of $67 still smaller than your say it one more
like
time.
Less. So forget the $2,300 Monday that tilt day. Let's just remove that for a second. Think if I didn't have that tilt day, if I look at this calendar, even though today I didn't make a big P&L, it's still bigger than my one red day this week.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. So it's telling me that, hey, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you trusted your process, you manage your trades, and you're finishing the week having one red day, which they're always going to happen, but it's smaller than any of my green days. So it's like, you got to start balancing it out and being like, what's more important for me to hit that profit target today, or for me to end the week green and my green days are still bigger than my losing days?
And like for me, at like the end of the month, whenever I look back at my calendar, my eyes just immediately are drawn to what's the ratio of red to green. It's not even really about the numbers. It's more about just the ratio. Yeah.
So if you have 1 or 2 red days in a month, come on now.
Even 4, right? Even 5.
Yeah.
Even 5.
We have to be kind to ourselves in that sense, right? Like if you go look at, and the more you listen to, I listened to a bunch of Alpha Mind podcasts. James got me on them originally when I first started trading, and they got such seasoned vets on there, man. Like it's like all these guys that are just gritty guys. And like when Pax was on, they're just some beautiful like conversations. But some of these guys are losing 50% of the year.
For 50%
50% of the time, and they're down millions. Once you can fathom that, like when you listen to that, the Austin's latest podcast with Scott Pulcini, I think he was down, I don't know what,
like 1.8 million.
Yeah, 1.8 million, and he finished the year up 1.2 or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's we got to remind ourselves that we're in this for the long run. At least you and I are. We're here to take money from prop firms. But when the prop firm scene, if it ever does dry up, we're going to still be here trading every day. We're going to be, putting stuff on Twitter. Like we're still going to be talking about this because it's my life now, right? Like I'm making it. I'm not doing this for a side hustle and I'm going to make a couple bucks and then fall off the face of the earth. Like, you know what I mean? Go disappear once I do some. So it's like the long run for me now it's becoming so much more apparent because the first year felt like the longest year of my life. And looking back now, it felt like the shortest year of my life. Like I've known you now for over a year and I feel like I've known you for 10 years, but it's like we've met two times in person. You know what? Like it's, when you put it all into context, right? Like it's crazy. It's wild. So it's going in and out of these states of like, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, being patient. I think working on my patience is like a huge thing I need to do. And even today, after your 2 trades that you had this morning, you said, I'm taking a break and you went for a walk, right? Or you got off the desk for a minute. You acknowledge that.
Yeah. And it's like one of the reasons why I, why I'm willing to pay for the mentorship is because I'm around people like Mark Ross. Mark Ross to me is a huge inspiration. This goes to like the long-term, gains because Mark trades some prop. He does his prop thing, but he also trades personal capital. He had a small account, same account size as me, low 5 figures, and is able to generate 5 figures a week, 5 figures a month from this small account. And it's like, he's been trading either double or triple the amount of time I have. And, like David Capablanca, like this is like my mentor. And he always says, you just have to survive the learning curve. And that learning curve, like Stephen Goldstein in the Alpha Mind podcast, he always says it's like 2 to 3 years, your first 2 to 3 years. If you make money, you're just lucky. Like you're almost you're just lucky. Like don't even take it as like positive reinforcement that you're doing something right. You're just lucky. And I mean, like hearing that stuff and then being around people that have made that 3-year journey, 4-year journey, 5-year journey is really for me what just like boosts my motivation. And no, it makes me think like we just got to keep pushing through this.
And that's the thing. You just got to keep pushing through this. And Mark is a perfect example of trading for 20 years, working a full-time job, fitting it in when he could, slowly getting 1% better. And now this year he's full-time trading, like fully focused on it. Like I would imagine his job was, he had a bit of a high stress job before, like, so it was, now he's fully committed to trading and you can see the progress. So it's like, here we are trying to learn to trade, trying to do stuff, like we have to live and support ourselves. So we obviously have to do other things. We're not at a point where the trading is supporting us fully. So it's when you get to that point, then you can expect even to see the blast off. Do you know what I mean? Like when you get to a point where you're fully supporting yourself off of your trading, and it's like, I think Jade Cap, or I think it's Jade Cap, right? Jade Cap. He posted something on X the other day where it was like, he didn't start making money till after 10 years of trading, like real, like to actually say, like he was able to make money and survive, but to actually start killing it, it was 10 years later. And it's like, and he's proud of that. He's not saying like, fuck, I'm an idiot. It took me 10 years to do this, right? Like it's crazy.
And Mark's in the chat. He's like, I'm a better trader than Mark. Mark's an asshole. I was like, who is that guy? I know that name from somewhere.
Oh, I was gonna drop the Mark had some drinks last night and he only made a couple grand today. So it was like he was hungover when he got to the desk this morning. You can tell he was a little slow in his executions.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, he gave a Peter Lynch quote. It like sums it up for this live stream. Is like, in your business, if you're good, you're right 6 times out of 10. You're never going to be right 9 times out of 10. And I mean, that just goes to like sum up this whole entire conversation, that you really just gotta keep the momentum in the right place, keep pushing forward, do the right things on and off the desk that allow you to have that positive momentum, and you know, set monetary budgets for yourself with trading. Like I'm sure there's a lot of traders out there that, you know, like that guy we were talking about earlier who did like 40 resets in like 30 minutes. He doesn't have a budget that he's setting for trading. He's just YOLOing it and just hoping that something works. So, you know, treat it like a business.
You got to treat it like a business, but you got to remember, if you've ever started your own business, and I've started a few, it is not easy. And it takes time. You can spend years being not profitable and just surviving. And you know what I mean? You're putting food on the table and got a roof over your head, and that's about it. So
that's so crazy. It's like, as someone who's like, I've just worked a 9-to-5 job, this is the first time I'm getting into like business like that. It's tough. It's tough, man. Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad we're able to do these kind of things and reflect and share our thoughts and just motivate each other and keep pushing to be a better person, a better trader, right? So it's very grateful to have found the Black Shirt Club and to be in situations like I am today and having conversations like I am. So
yeah. I mean, hell, we'll sign off with that. Thank you everybody for joining. Obviously, check out Randy, check out me. We got stuff up all the time, and we'll definitely be doing these more. So, you know, 100%. Cheers everybody, and thanks again.
Yeah, cheers.